เด็กสมัยนี้โตไวนะเช้าลืมตาขึ้นมาเจอเธอในยามเช้าตรู่แอบมองกันเธอเบาๆทั้งที่เธอไม่รู้ฝันกุมมือด้วยกันดอกไม้ของเธอกับฉันแค่ในวันเหล่านั้นก็มีความสุขเหลือเกินแต่เมื่อเวลาผ่านไปรักของเราก็จางหายกลายเป็นภาพของความทรงจำดีๆที่โดนสะกดไว้ไม่มีเธอกับฉันไม่มีวันเหล่านั้นและไม่มีทางที่ฉันได้กุมให้เธอแม้คราใดดอกไม้ตอนนี้
Good afternoon from Southeast Asia. Dang it. If you watch a professional, they do that before they go on. You know that sure sort of means I'm stupid. Okay, I don't care. This will be episode or volume number 5 of the Southeast Asia Chronicles. And they're designed to tell people, first, most importantly, well, really first is, are you tired of the Matrix in the U.S. or a Western country? Are you tired? Are you weary to the bone? If the answer is yes, okay. Are you ready to leave? If the answer is yes or no, it sort of doesn't matter. Even if you don't want to leave, these might still be interesting. You know, watch them, keep them in the back of your mind as your escape plan. To be used or not. Just like a little ace in the hole back there in the back of your brain. You can be thinking, if things really get that bad, I can do what this guy did. Maybe I don't want to right now. Maybe I'll never want to. But maybe I will. I've been married for 36 years. I got 2.3 kids. We own 2 businesses together. And, not me, I'm talking about you. And life is good. We got 4 cars. We got a 5-bedroom split level in the burbs. Careers are okay. Money's okay. We got some activities. She's got activities. We're happy. We got friends. Kids aren't too freaking horrible. We had to off that one because he was a little asshole. But, the other 1.3, they're doing okay. Got a dog, got a cat. We got no thoughts of ever going anywhere. You're going to retire right there. And then one day, you find out one of your businesses is bankrupt. It's fucked. Something happened. Something you never expected. It's gone. It's toast. And you think, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. Our income is cut by half. What can we do? Well, we can't stay in that house. We're gonna have to move. Have to sell that house. Move. And then you find out that the other kid, the one you didn't off, he's a drug dealer and a pedophile. And you think, oh hell, this is a bad day. This day really sucked. I never thought this shit was going to happen. And cops are looking for him. And some other drug dealers are looking for him. The parents of his little kid victims are looking for him, and life is fucked. And you think, man, this is really bad. This is a really bad day. I thought I had this sucker nailed. I thought I had this whole thing in the bag because I was smart and I made right choices and I did good things. And so you go home, you want some comfort from your wife. God, she's your best friend, You really need just a hug for about 6 hours, Just talk softly about your problems and what you're going to do and what can we do. And I'm sure happy you're here, honey, because I couldn't do this without you, So you go home, unlock the door, and you go in and, hey, honey, I'm home. No answer. And you walk around, you don't see her. You go in one of the kids' old bedroom because you think you hear something. It's like maybe the cat's stuck in there. He's trying to get out. You open the door and you're just about to say, hey, honey, are you in here? And there she is with your business partner in the bed. And they're just going at it. And she finally notices that you're there and she looks around. And the guy doesn't stop. He's just going at it. And you're just about to say, what the fucking fuck is this? And she says, oh God, no, honey, I'm sorry. And the guy's still going at it. She doesn't tell him to stop. And she doesn't move. And she grabs onto him, throws her head back, tits turned beet red, lets out a huge scream. And he just goes all the faster, and so does she. And you can't speak anymore, maybe for a long time. You go into a dark and terrible place. You get a gun, you point it at the guy. Say one fucking word, motherfucker. Say one word. And you keep it on his chest. All the way until he grabs his clothes and he's running out the door. And then you do that to your wife. And you lock her outside. And you collect up her shit. Garbage bags, because that's what they deserve. And you throw it out the upstairs window. You say, come back, I'll kill you. And she's sobbing. She wraps some shit around her. She goes to the neighbor, calls a cab, she's gone. Then you got to start the divorce. That business partner, he was your partner in the business that didn't go broke, so now that one's fucked. That's toast. You're fucked in every way there is. In the space of, about 6 hours, 8 hours. Now I tell this long grisly story because it's a true story. Well, it's more than a true story. It has happened to 100 million guys across this country for millennia, around the world, not the country, but around the world. But this happened to a very close friend of mine with one of my sisters. And he needed out. He needed a way out. He needed a way out. I wasn't down here at that time. God, I wish I'd give anything if I would have been. I could have given him an exit strategy other than the one he took. And the one he took was to unpack a gun he had in the back of the garage and went up to her. She was over at the neighbors, and they were coming over together to get some of her things that he had missed. And he said, hey, honey, watch this. And that was that. Switched a few times. She screamed. And I miss him. And I ruined the sister's life after that. Ruined it. It's fucked. It's fucked. Her life might as well be over. She can do that if she wants. I'll give her the fucking gun. Now, he took a way out. He needed a way out. And he took the only one he could think of. For all you guys up there in some Western country who has had this happen or some other thing like this happen, or you're just fucking tired of the shit. You're tired of the politics. You're tired of having mentally retarded, clinically insane people in your politics on both fucking sides. You're tired of trying to go to 7-Eleven to get a fucking thing of ice cream and you got 7 punks in there. It almost comes to a goddamn shootout between you and them. You're tired of the road rage. You're tired of the motherfucker that cuts you off and then slams on his brakes like it was your fault. You're tired of sitting at a red light, have some motherfucker behind you laying on that horn. You're tired of cops that have turned into creatures that I never thought really existed in the world except in really bad movies. Go watch Audit the Auditors. You won't get through about 3 episodes and you'll be thinking, man, what's the exit out of this fucking place? Audit the Auditors. I think it's a YouTube channel. I can't watch them anymore. Because I've been the victim of them enough times. And most people have. If you haven't, you will be. Okay, so you want out. And you're thinking, how can you get out? That's what these are for. For you. For you guys. The guys out there leading these long, interminable lives of quiet desperation. Because so many of you are. I had periods in my life when I was. Long periods like that. Stuck in some mill job or some dead-end goddamn thing. Just thinking, what the hell? Is this all there is? Really? Well, the bottom line is that these Western countries, America, the UK, Germany, France, kind of a Western country, I guess, they're fucking frogs. Canada. Those places are almost unknown to the rest of the world, except for occasionally they hear outlandish shit on the news. Okay, when I first went to Southeast Asia, that was the dream of everybody around the world. Oh my God, if I could only get to America. Oh my God, then life would be, I don't even know. It would be just spectacular. All my troubles would be over. God, I just got to get to America. And so the girls would go through these long convoluted fucking scams to get into America by any way, hook or crook that they could. There was one guy who, that's Philippines. He was in the Philippines. He met a girl and they dated. I think he spent a year with her in the Philippines. I think it was a full year with her. None of this long distance shit. Just forget that fucking shit. I'll tell you about that later. But he was physically with her, living with her in the Philippines, and they got really, really close. And as I recall, they got married in the Philippines, which is not recognized in the U.S. Luckily, but that was her dream. She wanted to go to the U.S. And he's like, okay, he didn't yet hate the U.S. And he said, okay, let's get you a visa. Well, that seemed like a simple thing, a few weeks, a month, bunch of papers, pay some money. No, no. To get into the U.S. for a third world country's person is, it's like Nightmare from fucking Elm Street. It's going to take you pretty close to a year. You jump through all the hoops correctly, pay all the money. It's going to cost you a shitload of fucking money, maybe $5,000, $3,000 to $5,000 probably. It's going to take you a year. That's tough. So anyway, he did it. And she stuck with him. And they were happy. And he did it. He jumped through every hoop. And he did it. And got the visa. And she's like, okay, I need to clean up my affairs here. And then we're going to America. And he said, yep, baby, rock and roll. We're going. Start a new life. Go to America and get married. So he had gotten her a, what do you call it? It's like that 90-day marriage show or whatever the fuck it was. So from the moment she checked into the U.S., he had 90 days, I believe, to marry her, or she had to get out. Okay. And they're okay. They've already been together a year. They know everybody, each other's bad habits. They know that this is okay. It's going to work. So he said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go first. I'm going to get a house. I'm going to set up a house. And I'm going to get everything set up for you. God, honey, we're going to be so motherfucking happy. And she's like, yes, baby. And it came time the day for her flight to arrive. I don't remember what city. That's a true story. And he went to the airport. And he waited for her at whatever place she was going to get out. He can't go into the real terminals anymore. You got to wait outside until they clear customs and get. I don't even think you can go in and help him with her luggage. I'm not sure anymore. Anyway, he did that. He waited there, and the plane got out, let off, and everybody came out. And he waited and waited and waited and waited. Didn't see her. What the fuck? But how could he have missed her? They have a contact number that's set up, and he starts calling that. No answer. And he thinks, oh my God, well, there's been some terrible fucking mistake because she called him when she's getting on the plane. He knew she's getting on the plane. The flight was correct. The flight had arrived. It's the right flight number. Everything's correct. And he finally went to the airlines and said, hey, I got a problem. I'm missing my fiance, my wife/fiance, And they're like, okay, sir, let's take a look. And they did. And she was on the plane. She's on the fucking plane. Everybody's off the plane. Nobody hiding under the seat. Nobody in the bathroom. And he's thinking, well, how can that be? She walks off the airplane and then she slips into another dimension. What the fuck is this shit? And he's sitting there thinking, trying to imagine where the hell she could be. No call, no nothing. She won't answer. And then he remembers. He's thinking, when the people were getting off the plane, there was a big commotion when the plane was about half deplaned. There was a big commotion right there where the people were coming off, or as close as he could get to it. And there were like 8 or 10 people. They just crowded around some long lost loved one. Oh God, we missed you so much. How are you? He didn't think anything about it. Some long lost loved one. And then they, whoever that person was, they hustled him off. Big crowd of people, laughing, joking, loud, boisterous. And then he got it. And that was her. She never had any intention of meeting him in the U.S. This whole fucking thing, this whole investment of time and love and sex and I love yous for a fucking year was just to get the visa into the U.S. Once she's in, she can change her name. She had a whole Filipino network up there. They can get her new papers, everything. She's in. Probably hated the guy. Probably threw up every time she fucked him. Okay, now you think that's an unusual story? No. So, happens here and in America. Alrighty then. All tapes are copyright 2023 by stockphotosworldwide.com, or you can go see our other crazy podcast at alienanalprobe.com. And if you're too Victorian to type that in, then you type in theyclaim.com, or a host of other websites have it too. But that's a good one. That sounds generic, if you're sitting somewhere, coffee shop or on the bus or some fucking thing, and you don't want to type in alien anal probe because it looks like a porn site. Before we got the domain, it was a porn site. So, just go to theyclaim.com. It's really simple. We're pushing 300 podcasts on that thing over many years. And, they talk about aliens, and I swear a lot. And we explore a lot of cases where there's probing and stuff like that. It's pretty disgusting. But in the end, we try to figure out if aliens are real. So, if you have any interest in reading about humans being probed by aliens, and some people live for that shit, okay, go there. They're on alienanalprobe.com or theyclaim.com, whatever. Now, as I said, this is podcast number 5. In the first 4 of the Southeast Asian series, I did a lot of groundwork, set up a lot of foundation as to why I left and why you might be thinking about leaving also. And then I started getting and I got right to the point where I got on the plane and I flew to Bangkok and messed around Bangkok and felt pretty lost and fucked up. Wondered what the hell I had done. And then that podcast ended. And then between then and the next podcast, a bunch of people wrote in and they said, hey, stop, Jesus Christ. Okay, and what they described was, have you ever read one of those books? Let's see, something for dummies, programming for dummies, or word for dummies, or sex, for dummies, or, whatever, alien anal probing for dummies, whatever, the whole series of them. I don't know if they're all by the same company. They probably are. And when those first came out, I thought, oh my God, that is fucking brilliant. These are the most brilliant people on the face of the earth. Because when I try to figure out how to do something, I'll go look around in the tutorials and the instructions. They all assume some level of pre-knowledge that I don't fucking have because I am a dummy. Like Premiere Pro. Oh, that fucking thing. That's the video editor from Adobe. Oh, God. So I started buying those books. I don't know, by the wheelbarrow. And maybe I wanted to learn how to grow tomatoes for dummies. I thought, let's start easy because I can't do it. I don't know what happens every time. But my entire life, I've never grown a single tomato. God knows I fucking tried. That's a hard thing to admit. But, so I started reading, how to grow tomatoes for dummies. And God, the first paragraph was, fuck, I never knew that. Oh my God, that's brilliant. Oh, I wish I would have known that 25 years ago. Like that. And the second paragraph, oh my God, it's so clear and it's so simple. And oh, thank you, dear author. Oh, you'd saved my tomato life, And then by about the 4th or 5th paragraph, suddenly it takes this leap. It just runs off the rails. And you have no goddamn clue what they're talking about. And you never do again for the whole rest of the book. And you think, what the fuck? Well, I got 5 good paragraphs and the rest of it's fucking crap. Okay. I think that is because the authors, the writers, know about the subject. And you can't do that. If you're going to teach, not if you're going to teach somebody, if you're going to help someone learn how to do something, you can't know about that either. You can't know anything. Okay, so I would be the ideal teacher for Premiere Pro because I can barely do anything. I can produce these podcasts, and that's fucking it. That's the extent of it. In the old days, I was really, really good at it. I made a lot of really high-end videos. There's a couple of them on the stockphotosworldwide.com. And then I got off of Premiere for, God, I don't know, 15 years, 18 years, or more. 20 years, probably. I don't know. And they changed the whole goddamn thing. It's like every 3 months they rebuild the whole goddamn app, and you go to try to do things and you can't anymore because they've changed it. Okay, so after 20 years of a rebuild every 3 months, you have no fucking clue what that app is about. So that's where I'm at. But if you want to learn Premiere Pro, ask me because I don't know anything. So I would have to explore it piece by piece and step by step and click by click. And I would have to show you, okay, let's see, I want to do this. I want to do this to my video. So therefore, how in the fuck would I do that? Because they don't make it clear at all. And I would have to just try shit. And it might take me 4 hours to figure out how to do something that's one click. Okay. But when I figured it out, you would figure it out. Because we would think the same way, not knowing anything. Okay, so in these podcasts, here's the problem. I know about Southeast Asia. I know how to get there. I know what's there when you get there. So I'm doing these podcasts from the position that I already know. So I'm skipping shit. And people are saying, no, wait, what the fuck? You lost me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay. So that's where we're at. That's exactly where we're at. So I got to start sort of again with every detail, every little baby step. Okay, you got to get up in the morning. And then you got to tie your shoes. Oh, no, I don't understand. You skipped a step. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, okay, wait a minute. Okay, go back. Simple. For dummies. Because I'm a dummy. Let's see. You wake up in the morning, and then what do? Oh, you open your eyes. Okay, you open your eyes. Number 2, you look at the clock. You see if you overslept by 4 hours. Okay, number 3, you look around, see if there's any monsters or snakes or anything in your room. Okay, no monsters or snakes. Okay. So you sit up a little bit. You wait for your head to clear a little bit. The dizziness fades. Okay. Then you swing your legs down the side of the bed. You sit there for a minute. Wait for the world to come back into view, And then you stand up. And then you walk over and you open the door. And then you go through the door. And then you walk around, you go to the bathroom. And then you do whatever the hell God knows what you're going to do in there. Okay, so it has to be that detailed. Because if you're sitting there, you just caught your wife with your fucking business partner, there's a really high chance that either happened already or it's going to happen pretty soon. Very often the ones you least suspect. Has my respect for women and my trust of women deteriorated over the years? Oh my fucking God, it has plummeted down to right around where they found the debris of the Titan. Okay, but the really disturbing thing is that my love for him hasn't diminished a bit. That's really a bad combination. You know what I mean? That's stupid. Oh, you bad fucker. You gotta learn. I could respect a good one beyond my own life. Easily. Give me a good one. I'll give her my heart. That'd be the smallest thing I could give her. I could give her my life. I could give her my soul. But I can't find a good one. And I'm kind of at the point where I'm saying, okay, maybe they exist somewhere in, some Serbian village in Hungary, but I never found one. No, that's not. I did find one. That's a problem. That's my problem. I found one. I was with her almost 40 years, and then she's gone. She died. And so I want one that good again. And they exist. I know they exist because she did. She existed. So you're sitting there. And you're pushing up towards retirement age. And God, you want out. You just want out. For whatever reasons. Everybody's got their own reasons. And you got 2 problems. You're thinking, number 1, how the hell can I afford it? How can I afford to go anywhere else? And number 2, where would I go? Let's say you got the money. Let's say you got some retirement. You got some investments. You can sell the house. Get a mill, Where would you go? You don't know because it's all scary. It's all alien. It's all... Okay, so that's where we're at. So first thing you're going to do, if you're in that situation, you got to decide, do you really have the balls to go? Do you really? Okay, in my case, it was pretty easy because my wife died and she kicked me in the ass, said, get the fuck out, go do something. I had been living with her for 40 years in locations and environments I didn't like, and she knew it. We stayed there for her career. And I was in a state of quiet desperation just from that. So after she's gone, I swear to God, I swear this is true. I'm not a big woo-woo person at all. Not at all. I'm nuts and bolts, meat and potatoes. But she kicked me in the ass. She said, get the fuck out. Just get on a fucking plane. Just get out. I had money. That wasn't my problem. So that problem was solved for me. If you don't have somebody doing that from the great beyond, then you got to come up with that impetus yourself. You got to kick your own self in the ass. And hopefully these tapes are going to make that easier for you. Second thing you're going to do, if you got that, if you're going, if you know you're going, you don't know where, if you know you're fucking going and you got a way to afford it, maybe you can afford it. You don't think you can afford it, but you can afford it. I'll help you flesh that out. Second thing you're going to do is figure out where are you going to go? You can go online and you can Google what's the best place to retire. And you're going to get 1,000 examples, and a lot of them conflict. A lot of them are outdated. A lot of them were written by tourists who went someplace for a goddamn week and they say, oh, this is fucking great. Oh, yeah, you can retire here. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, very, very few of those places were written by people who lived there 10 goddamn years. And they just don't know diddly shit. They're just writing shit, trying to get hits on the internet, on YouTube, whatever the fuck. They don't know anything. So you read all that shit, you listen to all that shit, you watch it, and you're like, what? And after 2 or 3 weeks of that kind of research, you're like, oh my God, I still have no more clue now than I did 3 weeks ago. I got no clue. This country might be good. This country might be bad. And then I read this, and then other people say that. Fucking hell. Okay, some of the most, well, I'm not even going to say one of the most common destinations that are recommended, because you just go to the next website and it's going to be all different ones recommended in different orders for different reasons. All I can do is tell you about places I know about. So that's what we're doing. If you want to go to Brazil, I can't help you. I don't know. I read a lot about all kinds of South American destinations, and I get the same shit you're going to get if you go looking. You're going to get conflicting shit. And nobody really knows until they've lived there a long time. I would say minimum. You can't really talk about a place until you've been there a minimum 3 to 5 years. You can't be any kind of an authority on something. You're just parroting shit that you read somewhere else. You know? So, let's say you're not opposed to Southeast Asia. Okay, you're there. You got the money. You got the finances figured out, or you will figure out the finances soon. You got the motivation because you really didn't like that scene with your wife and your business partner. That was pretty fucking ugly. So your heart has made the decision you want out. You're scared, like everybody. So if you made that decision and you think there might be a way to afford it, what do you think about Southeast Asia? Have you ever had any interest in Southeast Asian culture? Okay. If you think maybe you want to go to Southeast Asia, what country are you going to go to? Because there's a shitload of countries. They're over in the mainland and they're around, and the Philippines is an island and stuff like that. But the mainland part of Southeast Asia is, you got Laos, Myanmar, Burma, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore. You got a lot of choices, and you can go farther out from there and get other choices too. I do not recommend anything really particularly down South Pacific for a whole long litany of reasons. Southeast Asia is a good starting place. If you're there in Southeast Asia for a while and you don't like it, and always had a hankering for the South Pacific, well, take some trips because it's not far from Southeast Asia. Take some hops down there, look around, and chances are very, very, very fucking high you won't decide to settle in any of them. South Pacific. Okay, so in Southeast Asia, I've lived in most of the countries, not all. My biggest span of experience was in Thailand. And even when I was living in other countries, I still kept my place in Thailand. So if that didn't work out, I could go back easily. Just go back, just walk back into my condo home. So what I'm going to do is concentrate mostly on Thailand. And then at some point, we'll really start sharpening the pencil on this thing. I'm going to tell you everything I know about every country that I've spent time in Southeast Asia. But for the time being, we're going to focus on Thailand because Thailand kind of sort of is the quintessential heart of Southeast Asia. All the countries are different, some in big ways, all of them in subtle ways. Languages are all different. The customs are all different. All of them are going to be like going from Earth to Pluto for any Westerner. If you visited Southeast Asia for a week or a month or something like that, a couple of months even, you think you know about Southeast Asia. No, you don't. You got a taste of it, that's all. And you heard some stories, and expats tell you shit, those fat old drunken Brits. The Brits are not well liked in Southeast Asia anymore. I'm sorry. They've worn out their welcome. I'm not going to go Brit bashing, but I could. I won't really have anything to do with them anymore. Too many bad experiences. Did I have any good experiences with Brits? No, not one. And you got to remember also that the strata of Brits coming to Southeast Asia are not the normal British people. They come from certain areas of England, mostly, almost always England itself. They consist almost completely of what we call sex pats, not expats, sex pats. Some Americans do that shit too, in other countries, and Germans and whatever the fuck. But I'm not going to. I'm going to bash them later. I'm not going to bash them now. Okay, so let's say you're ready to go. You sort of kind of got the finances figured out. The decision is in your heart to go. You're not sure where to go. Let's just say Thailand. If you really are afraid of a place that's pretty exotic, you go to Philippines. That's a halfway house. Like I said before, that's halfway between Western culture and Southeast Asian culture. It's very Americanized, very Westernized, which to me ruins it. I don't like that. I left America not to go find another half America. I left America to get the fucking fuck out of America, out of that whole Western culture. I don't want it, don't need it, don't like it, want out of it. So you go to Philippines and it's way too westernized for me. And that's I'm here right now. Been here a while. I don't know. I'll stay. I don't miss Thailand. I sort of miss Cambodia. That's fucked up. Cambodia is rough. It's motherfucking rough. All the time I was in Cambodia, and every time I went to Cambodia, I learned I carried a brick because you're not allowed to have weapons of any kind. God knows you fucking need them. But a lot of guys, a lot of older expats, they will carry a golf club, and they'll keep a couple of balls in their pocket, and they just walk around with a golf club, so that when, not if, when they get mugged, they swing that motherfucker and knock the goddamn fucking head off. And the cops say, what are you carrying this thing around for? You're not supposed to have a weapon. And they say, well, it is not a weapon, sir. I like to putt my golf balls once in a while. I go over here in this grass, I putt it, I putt over there. That's my hobby. I'm a golfer, you know. Okay, that gets them off the hook. Cambodia is wide open. It's backwards, fucked up, virtually communist dictatorship. I'll tell you it isn't, but fuck. They shut down the last remaining newspaper years ago because the government didn't like what it was saying. I talked to a guy a long time ago and I said, well, what's been your experience here in Cambodia? And he said, well, fuck, you know, people say it's rough and all this shit. And I haven't really experienced that. You know, I only know of one guy who was kidnapped. You know, it doesn't happen all the time. Shit like, oh, we got the monsoons going on. It's like, I love the fucking monsoons. I'm sorry, I do. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on Thailand. We're going to do all these examples and step-by-steps about Thailand. I don't recommend Thailand anymore just because, you know, I did it backwards and forwards every way possible there is to do it. I've done. There's nothing more new I can do in Thailand. You think about that for a minute, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into stuff that would make the LGBTQ crowd blush and hide their faces and probably cry. I mean, seriously, it's going to get fucking nasty. That's why there's probably no way these could ever go on YouTube. I'm sure they wouldn't last 20 minutes. Get fucking flagged off by the snowflakes and Victorian little princesses and shit like that. So anyway, don't worry. We're going to cover it. I know you guys. I know you horny bastards. You're sitting there. You're thinking, oh my God, is there girls in Southeast Asia? Is there girls in Thailand? I heard some shit. Whatever you heard, take it times 30. And that's why I don't, you know, my friends used to say, hey, tell us about Thailand. What are you doing? And I'd start to tell them, and they said, come on, really? We're not that stupid. That shit cannot happen in real life. And I say, okay, don't fucking ask me. You know, you don't want to know the goddamn fact and the truth. Don't ask me, because that's all I know. I had to stop writing because I couldn't make shit up. I could only do nonfiction. It really broke my heart. And this is nonfiction. I can't do fiction. I wish I could. God, how I tried. I tried a couple of fiction books. They're okay. They sold for a while, but nothing like the nonfiction, you know. Okay, so you made your decision. You're going to leave. You just don't know when or where. Okay, that's the point you're at. That's what I promised in number 5, because I fucked around for 4 episodes and not really gotten to the meat, you know, to the protein. Let's say you're going to Thailand. Okay, first thing you're going to do, regardless of what Western country you're in, and I've mentioned this before, you're going to go on the Thai embassy website. I know there's one in San Francisco. I know there's one in New York. I don't know what other cities they're in. Probably several. I'm not even sure. It doesn't matter. And you're going to download the forms, PDFs probably. You're going to download them. Application for visa in Thailand, tourist visa. And you're going to fill them out. And then you're going to see what other documents they require. It's going to be your passport, and who knows what you know. These days it's going to be a COVID certificate and shit like that. I don't know what all they ask for anymore. They change it all the goddamn time. And half the time they want, you know, 11 documents, but they don't care about any of them except 4 of them, you know. But anyway, you got to send them all in just to be sure. So you get your passport, and incidentally, you're going to send your passport by courier, by you know, like express, signature required. Only fucking do that. And after that, do not give your passport to anyone ever. I don't care. The police want it. They say, okay, we're going to take it and hold it for a few days. You go to rent a car. They want to hold your passport. Fuck them. No, walk away. They can hold a copy of your passport. Don't give your passport to anyone ever, ever, ever. God, I had a deal in Bangkok. I was trying to do some goddamn thing, and the immigration's up there said, well, just send a courier up here with your passport. And I said, look, God fucking hell, I don't want to do that. I know guys that have lost them. No, I don't want to do that. Oh my God, we are professionals. We do this every day. They're saying in Thai. And we've never lost our passport. What the fuck kind of pussy are you? That was their attitude. And God, I held out for a couple of weeks. And finally, the only way, I didn't want to make the trip to Bangkok. It was a long goddamn trip, miserable. And he had to do it by appointment, and it was just fucked up. So I said, okay, God, please don't fucking lose this. And I sent it in, and of course they lost it. And when you're out of the U.S. or out of your home country to get a new passport, it's really a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. So anyway, send it to the embassy, like courier, signature required. And then they're going to process your stuff. You can, if you're going to Thailand, you can get slow or fast or whatever you feel like paying for. Fast, probably everything's going to cost you $80, something like that. It's not going to be too bad. And then if, all your I's are dotted and T's crossed in a week or however long, it comes back. There's a passport, you got a stamp in there. You ask for the longest visa they will give you. A lot of times on the forms, they will say, well, how long do you want this visa for? 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever. And it's like, well, 1 year. 1 year sounds good. And you check that box and you get it back and it's for 1 month or 2 months. They're going to give you what they want. But I think it's pretty standard now. They're going to give you 2 months. So you get it back. And you have to use it within a certain period of time. I got one out of there that they gave me. I had to use it within like 6 months. It was a really long time. And I did something out of Romania. What the hell was that about? And they gave you like 3 months. You had to use it within 3 months. Some places will give you like 15 days. Some countries, some embassies will give you 15 days. You got to use this in 15 days or 30 days or you got to fucking start over, Jesus Christ. Basically, the people making up these laws and rules, they are monkeys wearing pants. Monkeyswearingpants.com. It's a .com. I own it. I got a website on it. Monkeys wearing pants. Okay, because that's the logic that they're using when they're making up these immigration shit laws and rules. Jesus Christ, they will drive you insane. But the U.S. procedures will drive you as insane or more insane. So don't start bashing the country because the immigration laws are insane because they are in the U.S. too. Probably more so. Almost certainly more so. Okay, so you've sent your passport in, and wonder of wonders, you got it back. And there's going to be a stamp in your passport, and there's going to be some paperwork with it, and you're good to go. Once you got that turkey, start looking for a flight. Bangkok. The only place you want to start out is Bangkok. Unless you have some specific reason, to go to, Phuket or some damn thing. It's a place I hate. I loathe and detest it. I stopped going there. Bangkok. You can go everywhere from Bangkok for like $40, So just go to fucking Bangkok. When you go looking for a flight, you got booking.com, you got Expedia, you got all these different places that'll book flights for you. They're okay. Mostly they're okay. The airlines go directly to the airline websites too. That's okay. So a lot of times the web interfaces are not nearly as smooth as one of the high-end booking sites. Don't be surprised if you have trouble with one of the booking sites. They don't like certain credit cards, and they don't like this, and they don't like that. And you got to be unspeakably careful about reading the fine print, because they will fuck you if they can. Oh God, they're terrible for that. They're quasi-scammers, these booking sites, all of them. Be really, really careful. Hopefully have a friend proofread the thing before you click the box. It used to be you could get directs from Western U.S. into Bangkok. Those were curtailed. I don't know if they'll ever come back. No. Those were pretty good. Those were nice. Most of the time you're going to transfer somewhere. You usually have a choice of where you're going to transfer. The rates and the fares are going to vary wildly. Now here's a tip. You go on to one of these booking sites and you look at a flight, let's say LA to, Bangkok. And the price is X. Let's say it's $1,000. Probably won't be. When I went down the first time, it was like $400. Let's say it's $1,000 just for argument, for the example. And you think, well, God, I don't know. That's the lowest price, $1,000. I don't know. Maybe I can find a cheaper one. So you go over to, Expedia and you look around and those are $1,100. And you think, oh, fuck, what the fucking fuck? Well, God, I better go back to booking.com because that was only $1,000. And now it's $1,399. Okay. They harvest your IP address. And when they see you're looking around and you didn't buy, your IP address goes into a database, and there's an algorithm, like there is for every goddamn fucking thing now. Probably an algorithm for sex now. I don't know. Well, actually there is. And when you go back to booking, it's $13.99. You think, well, what the fuck? 15 minutes ago it was $1,000. Now it's what? And you think, oh, well, fuck, that's too fucking much. What the hell? And so then you want to go to another one, try to get that 1,000 again. And you go over there, and now that's 1,500. You think, wait, and then you're thinking, go, goddamn, 1,100. That was not so bad on Expedia. And you go back there. Well, now that one's $1,449. Okay, and they creep it up. And what they're trying to do is make you panic and just fucking buy one. Just stop the bullshit. Just fucking buy one. Okay, that's what they want you to do. Okay. A lot of times you can circumvent that with a VPN. So you hook up your VPN and you get a server out of Chicago. So it doesn't even look like you anymore. And you go back to booking, well, it's $1,000 again. Buy it. Just fucking buy it. Be really, really goddamn sure you get the dates correct. I had a deal one time. I wanted to leave on, where the fuck was it? I wanted to leave like Turkey or something. I was going to hop into Turkey. I wanted to leave Turkey on a January 26th, I think. Okay, let's just say that. And so I went into booking and I found the flight, good price, everything I wanted, good. Bought it. January 26th, no problem. Good to go. Made all my arrangements and I told everybody goodbye, getting ready to go. And I just happened to look at the printout. What the fucking fuck? The flight was February 26th. How in God's name can this happen? Okay, here's what happens on some of these sites. You will look for a flight with certain criteria for January 26th. And it will give you a bunch of results. And you think, okay, that one looks good. That's a good price. That's everything I want. Good seat, everything, you buy it. Well, what happened was, unbeknownst to you, was they didn't have everything you wanted for January 26th. So they're showing you alternatives. They only had a flight with everything I wanted on February 26th. And so they automatically bumped the motherfucking date. And I didn't notice it. That's why I'm telling you, get everybody you know to proofread that and make sure it sounds right, because they will trick you. Okay, I had a hell of a time getting that money back. It took me months. It took me months to get that back. I did. But that was like a $1,200, $1,300 goddamn flight. Months to get that back. Well, actually, I didn't willingly get it back. I had to file a chargeback on it. So just don't do that. Just be more careful than I tend to be sometimes. I was really careful about saving ships at sea, but on something simple like booking a flight, I didn't realize you got to be a goddamn scientist. Well, you do now. You got to be a goddamn scientist. And you got to have a panel and a team, So be really, really fucking careful. Okay. You're going to pay whatever you have to pay to get a refundable ticket, because you might want to change it. They might change it in some way that's not covered. And they're going to say, well, sorry, we're canceling your ticket. And you're going to say, okay, I want my money back. And they're say, well, this particular event, this is not covered in that refundable policy. I'm sorry, you got to buy another ticket. And you're fucked. You've lost that grand or whatever. So get the refundable one. It's going to cost you $200 or $300 extra. Even if you don't need it, it just takes off the stress. You're going to be stressed enough, believe me. When I first went to Thailand, most of my hair fell out. I mean, I haven't got a lot, but whatever I have, fucking fell out over the course of 2 months because it was the stress. I thought, oh, fuck, I'm going to be bald. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, now I am kind of, but in those days, I still had a lot of hair and it was gone. And then finally, after I started, getting my wherewithal down there, the stress went down and the hair grew back. But your stress levels are going to be probably the highest stress levels you've ever had in your life going down there. No matter how you go, no matter how much money you have, stress level, everything. Breathing itself is going to be alien and foreign and stressful. Going to the bathroom, well, actually, I'm not exaggerating there. That's going to be really fucking stressful. We'll talk about that later. Somebody in the notes remind me to tell you about squat toilets. Oh, they're so much fun. They're so fucking lovely. Okay, so you're going to get the refundable ticket. Okay, now I've told you before. Really, really careful about the type of aircraft. Son of a bitch, because this ain't no 3-hour fucking Gilligan's Island cruise. This is going to be 12 to 14 hours. If you have headwinds, it might be longer. If you're doing God. Well, okay, for the biggest leg of it, it's going to be a minimum 10 hours. You're going to Taiwan or Hong Kong, something like that. It's going to be fucking, well, Philippines is going to be 12 to 14 hours. A lot of times you'll bump, from Philippines. You got to go to Philippines and then to Bangkok like that. But from Manila to Bangkok is like 3.5 hours, something like. It's a nice flight. It's easy. You can do that standing on your head. You can't do that fucking 14 hours standing on your head. You got to have a comfortable seat. If you got a lot of money, pay for the best seat you can get. Period. You can go business. If you can go business, fucking do it. Well, even though shit, I've seen business class seats go for like 7 to 12 grand on that flight from West Coast to Bangkok. 7 to 12 fucking $1,000. Maybe that's not worth it. If you got money to burn, fuck yeah, do it. If you don't, then you got to research seats, and you got to research them carefully. First, you got to research the aircraft. What kind of aircraft has nice seats? Some don't. Some of them put you in a goddamn fucking fold-out picnic goddamn chair. Oh, they're indescribably bad. Even if you get a good, quote-unquote, good seat on that aircraft, the best ones are fucked. On a good aircraft, like a 747, all the seats are good. I want to live on one of those, thank God. I think I did a couple of flights on those. Oh, I fucking loved them. Even the bad seats. Oh, son of a bitch, they were nice. And then some other ones too. I came out of Netherlands had 2 flights out of Netherlands that were, I don't remember what the aircrafts were, but they certainly weren't 747s, but God, they were fucking nice. Oh, really relaxing. Take toilet paper with you. You're not going to find any in public places, really anywhere in Southeast Asia. They won't put it out there because the people steal it. Take toilet paper, a lot of it. Take those moistened baby wipes. Fucking take them. Always an experience. Take them. Put those in your suitcase. Put them in your fucking carry-on. And if you can do it, the only thing you want is carry-on. You don't want to check a bag. Really, trust me, you don't. If you don't have to, put your valuable stuff in your carry-on. Keep it with you. Ship your clothing. It's light. It's the cheapest thing you can ship. Put cheap insurance on it. You can arrange it so that it goes to like a. God, I hate FedEx, but there's DHL is big in Thailand. FedEx is there. I don't think UPS is there. I can't remember. Arrange it so that your box can go to one of their facilities and be held there for give it 30 days, whatever, and then you just come and pick it up. You don't have to have it shipped to any particular address. Don't have it sent to a hotel. They'll either lose it or they'll steal it. Equal chance of either. Lose/steal, kind of the same thing. Get some amount of insurance on it and mark it as just clothing. Can you use the regular post? No, not into Thailand. In some countries you can, in Thailand you cannot. They will steal it. I lost, when I first got there, I was having a bunch of stuff shipped down to me. Once I decided I was going to stay there for a while, I had a bunch of stuff. I had 6 big cartons of personal belongings. Good stuff. Electronics and cameras and shit, clothing. And they were all shipped one at a time, most of them from different U.S. coast ports by U.S. mail. All lost. Everyone lost. Because the Thais will steal them. I'm going to tell you about an airplane they stole at some point, but they will steal every possible thing. Everything. Even Thai customs, they'll steal it. If they think there's something valuable in there, they will either outright steal it. Even if you got tracking, you can track it to their office. And no further, and it disappears. And pretty soon it's in the home of some Thai who works in customs in Bangkok at the airport. I got 3 or 4 websites about that. It's beyond anything you can imagine. Shipping anything out is almost as bad. They just steal. They just steal everything. Thais steal. Filipinos scam. Thais predominantly steal. They also scam. Filipinos steal and scam. They scam to a much higher degree than Thailand or maybe any country I've ever been in. If you're really worried about it, if you got really valuable clothes or something like that, okay, here's what you do. You have it shipped to Singapore, to a holding station in Singapore. Singapore's not going to fucking steal anything. Singapore is a tight run ship. Singapore is nice. Expensive. Really expensive. But they're not going to steal your clothing. So have it shipped to a holding place in Singapore. It's from Manila. Even from Bangkok to Singapore, it's like $60 or some fucking thing. It's like 2 hours. I don't know. It's a snap. except for that one plane that was going north out of Singapore, and they got vectored into a thundercloud and lost it and puked in the ocean. I had been on that exact plane, an exact route, like a week or 10 days before that happened. And that's another thing. Depending on the time of year, you're going to be quite alarmed. If you come in the daytime to Southeast Asia, you're going to be quite alarmed. You're going to be at 35,000 feet, and you're going to have cumulus thunderheads all around you. They look like 20,000 feet above you. They're really, really impressive. And you can't get over them, so you're going to fly between them. You can't fly through them, you'll die, but you're going to fly between them. So the flight's going to be constantly weaving left and right and around them. And, I see a little gap over there. Okay, let's shoot through there. And they're constantly being vectored by center. That was the problem with that. I think it was a Malaysian Air out of Singapore. They wanted to vector around a thunderhead, and the center was just, well, maybe, I don't know, we're going to think about it. We're going to talk about it here. And they said, no, we need to vector right fucking now, right now. And they said, well, just hang on, just wait. And they couldn't get clearance to deviate from the course, and so they flew through it and lost the aircraft. No, that wasn't Malaysian Air. That was a Thai Airways. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. A really nice little Thai airline. That's usually really good. But anyway, so flying into Southeast Asia is going to be, depending on the day, it could be a little shocking. Okay, so you got your carry-on. Hopefully you don't have a check-in, but if you do, you do. Watch the weights. They're going to fuck you on the weights if they can. If there's any possible way that they can declare your check-in overweight a pound, you're going to pay through the urethra. Okay, it's going to hurt. It's going to be probably minimum $200 per bag. Another thing, you want to either stay with the same airlines. Let's say wherever you're going to transfer. Let's say it's Hong Kong or Taiwan or whatever. Try really, really, really hard to either stay with the same airline, or if you can't do that, which is pretty common, be sure to choose a route where the first airline has a deal with the second airline, and there's a term for that deal, and I can't remember what it is. Anyway, they will guarantee to pass your luggage through, so you don't have to go get it and then recheck it at your hop point. By God, you want to do that? It's pretty easy to do that. It's not a hard thing to arrange that. In a populated part of the world, you can pretty much always find that arrangement. I was in Eastern Europe last year, and there weren't too many deals like that. I was always having to go get my fucking baggage off the first hop and then sprint to check in through the next one. And sometimes the next flight had already left like an hour before and shit like that. It was, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Unless, well, So that's why even if you only have carry-on, you can do that to an extent, because you're just going to pick up your carry-on and you're going to sprint to the next flight. Sometimes they give you no more than an hour in a huge, like where the fuck was I? Oh, I can't remember. The biggest thing I ever saw. I was loaded down with 58 pounds of shit just in my carry-on. My carry-on was 58 pounds. And I only had one thing with two wheels, and it was a hideous arrangement, but I virtually collapsed. I got halfway to the next flight. I virtually collapsed. I couldn't go anymore, and I sort of crawled over to a help station. It was a really beautiful, nice airport. Amsterdam. And biggest airport in the world, probably. And I just said, look, I can't go. I'm sorry. I need help. I can't go. I can't walk another step. And God, they were great. They were fucking great. And they came and got me in an electric cart, took me to the next flight, told everybody, get the fuck out of the way. We're coming through. There was a huge, huge crowd there to get in. And they took me right to the goddamn airplane. I was the first one on the airplane. They took me to the airplane, and they said, you want help going down the aisle? I said, no, I got it. I rested, 20 minutes in this cart. Thank you, God, you're a fucking princess. It was a woman. So just travel light if you can. If there's any possible way you can travel light, just do that. Okay, so you got your ticket. You know where you're going. You're going to Bangkok. Such and such a day. You know the day. Don't be too surprised about delays. One time I flew out of the West Coast. PAL, Philippines Airlines. Oh, jeez, what a cattle car fucking thing that is. I've said before that some of the staff is really sweet and nice and helpful. Some are evil bitches, assholes. There are some real assholes on there. I've had a couple of problems with them, and you just say yes or no, sir. And you go sit down and you choke it down. That's all you can do, because they're fucking assholes. Nothing to be gained by pushing the point, Try to avoid PAL if you can. Research the airlines. See, well, I don't know. You're going to get all these conflicting reviews and reports. It's really hard to tell. And sometimes you can go PAL and it's just fine. It's just fine. Sometimes, if they serve Tagalog Filipino food, everybody hates it except me. I don't know. I always thought it was pretty good. It's a long flight. I recommend going at night. Take some sleeping pills. Not something that's just going to fucking turn you into a catatonic, but take something that's going to knock the edge off so you can sleep all night. And then you wake up in the morning and you're probably never going to sleep more than about 6 hours, but you're going to need that 6 hours. You're going to need it. So take something like that. And if you got something to wake you up, take something to wake you up. Even powdered coffee, you can't take any liquid. Well, there's a trick for taking liquids on, but whatever. Powdered coffee, just take that. Sometimes you can get coffee on the airlines. I was coming out of fucking Amsterdam. They said, "Hey, would you like some coffee?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be really nice, thank you." And they said, "Okay, that'll be $6.80 US." I said, "No, take you. I don't want it." I could afford it, but just not going to pay that kind of fucking robbery shit. Take snacks, lots of toilet paper. There are certain of those inflatable pillows that work. The ones that are completely round on the outside are kind of shit. You get one that's round in the inside where your neck goes, but it's square on the outside, so it's got some support to it, so your head doesn't roll one way or the other. Inflatable. Make sure your cell phone battery's charged up. Take some good music, maybe some videos, maybe these. You can download them right to your phone. They take a lot of space, like 2 or 3 gigs per video, something like that. But whatever, I reduce them down as far as I can reduce them down before they start looking shitty. Oh, by the way, talking about that, people always want to know what the pictures were of in the last episode. Well, the last one, it was just various pictures that I took around various countries. I don't remember what they were in. All the girls, except for the kids, all the girls were girlfriends. The one girl towards the end, I think it is the last one, with her little boy. That was my girlfriend for 5 years there. She's actually like 35, maybe 36. She looks, 19, but she's 35 or 36. She had her kid now is in his 20s. The Southeast Asian girls tend to look really, really young or really, really old. Some genetic makeups, I suppose it is. By the time they're 35, they look 69, and I feel for them. And some of them, when they're 45, they look 25. Just depends. Anyway, and I don't remember what the other pictures were on that one. I did a series of pictures on there, but they're just various Southeast Asia pictures. If you go on stockphotosworldwide.com, you did hundreds and hundreds and, I don't know, maybe thousands of Southeast Asia pictures. I've got 107,000 that I haven't processed yet. So, whatever. More to come someday, maybe, if I live long enough. Okay, so if you got the flight, you paid for it, it's confirmed. Try to do the what's it called? You can take your flight confirmation, go straight to the airport, check your bag. And then they'll give you a boarding pass. Or sometimes you can do a what's it called? Pre-arrival check-in or some damn thing, I can't remember. You do it online anyway. And you can usually only do that the last 24 hours before your flight. But that's worth doing. Get that extra piece of paper. Even if you're going to go and check your bags and you know you're going to the counter anyway, get that anyway. It just helps things. It just helps. For God's sake, don't take any guns. For God's sake, don't take any drugs. Jesus, goddamn Christ. Do not do it. I've got some family coming down here soon, and one of them cannot leave his Adderall. And I'm not even sure what Adderall is. Does something for the brain, I guess. I don't know. He's been out for years and years. He can't leave it. He can't function without it. And it's not allowed in the Philippines. So he doesn't know what he's going to do. They're crazy about drugs down here. They're crazy even about legitimate prescription drugs. I mean, he's got a prescription and everything. If they catch you with that stuff, they're just going to take it away, and then maybe you're going to end up with a medical problem. And that goes for any Southeast Asian country. If you try to bring illegal stuff in, you go into fucking prison. In Malaysia, a long time ago when I was there, there was a little gang of low-level drug dealer fucking morons. I think there was like 3 or 4 Australians and a couple more from other countries, and they had gotten together and they had this little drug ring thing going, and they were low-level, But they got popped. They all got popped together. and they got sentenced to death. And the whole world was aghast. Really? Really? And the drugs, the amounts they had, like in the US, they might have got 6 months, something like that. But they got sentenced to death. And the whole world's like, oh, fuck that fucking shit. Well, that's just for show. It's not that big of a problem. But everybody wrote letters. And the US wrote letters, or not the US, Australians government wrote letters, said, look, just give them back to us. We'll put them in jail, come on. And Malaysians just said, fuck you, gave them the middle claw. And they killed them all, shot them all. So you think it can't happen to you? Oh, yeah, it can. They didn't think it was going to happen to them, and it fucking did. They're all dead. All 6 of them. Australian citizens. 4 of them. I think 4 of them were. Don't bring fucking drugs. Don't try to get any when you're here. Now, in Thailand, if you have a lot of money, you can buy your way out of anything. You can buy your way out of murder. But it's going to take, you better have Gates's money. So, if they get the idea you've got some money and you get popped for something, they're going to get all they can get, or you're going to sit and rot in the jail. And maybe they're not convinced. Maybe they're convinced that you've got more than you're letting on, and you're just going to rot in the jail because they're going to wait for you to crack a year, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're waiting for you to come to them and say, oh, okay, I can't take it anymore. Okay, I'll give you $200,000. Okay. And they're like, well, okay, maybe that means you've learned your lesson, But I personally know people who have bought off murder. When I was in Cambodia, the going rate, and I believe this is true, I knew people in the newspaper business there who knew shit. They knew what was going on. And the going rate for cold-blooded murder in Cambodia to buy it off was $17,000. Now that was a lot of years ago. That was like 8 years ago. Probably gone up by now. The point is, if you have a lot of money, there's a very high probability you can buy yourself out of almost anything. Not everything, but buy your way out of a lot. But why go through it? Just for what, to have a little fucking couple of grams of coke? What the fuck? Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to be bad. In the Philippines, you can't not. Well, no, it's not true. It's going to be much, much harder to buy your way out of stuff. Much harder. And maybe you can't do it. Probably you can't do it. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Thailand, you almost always can. Cambodia, you almost always can. Some other countries, Vietnam, no, forget it. Fucking no, fuck, no. Maybe in some rare instance, you get the right person, right circumstance, maybe, God, maybe, but probably not. Probably not in Vietnam. Laos, oh God, I don't know. Hit or miss, yeah. Singapore, forget it. It's not going to happen. Not one time. It's not going to happen. And you probably get extra jail time because you tried. Singapore's clean. You go there, you love it. Except it's boring because it's a city, country. It's just a city. It's not a whole country. It's just a city. It's just a financial hub. They got some parks and some shit like that. But once you've seen them all 5 times, it's like, well, okay, what's next? You can walk around 3 o'clock in the morning and carry a goddamn 600 millimeter fucking telephoto lens like I did. Nobody's even gonna look at you. Girls can wear a goddamn bikini, go down the worst part of towns, walking around middle of the night, 3 in the morning, really, truly. Nobody's gonna bother. You can take a cab. They're gonna charge you only the fair rate, only the established rate, not one fucking penny more. English is mostly spoken, not like Philippines where they only claim it's spoken. It's kind of sort of spoken in Philippines, but their accents are so bad they can't really converse with Westerners because they were taught the English language by Filipinos with bad accents. So they adopted those accents. That's all they've got. That's all they know. And like I've had girlfriends in the Philippines, and I've tried to say, look, you don't say it like that because we don't know what in the hell you're talking about. You try to say it like this. Try to pronounce it like this. Oh, you're trying to bully me. I don't like that. No, honey. No. I'm just trying to help you be understood. This will help you with your work, with everything. No, I don't like a bully. Okay, you keep on jabbering shit then. Okay. And I got to say what, and I got to have you write it down, every fucking time. If you enjoy that, then you just, it's okay. Other girls, lots of other girls, what the fuck. I actually am certified to teach English online. And we'll talk about that too as a way to make money here, anywhere in the world. But the pay is just ridiculous. The only reason to do it is because you enjoy it. You're not going to make enough money to go to fucking McDonald's, Anyway, I enjoy helping people with their pronunciation. I don't know what I sound like anymore. I've lived in so many countries that it's probably all weird and bastardized by now. I probably got accents I don't even know about myself. So I don't know what it is. People, when I go back to the U.S. or when I talk to Americans, they have a hard time understanding me. I mean, I'm not going to be aware of it because, it's my speech and it has evolved over the last decade from all these weird ass countries. So anyway, okay, we're coming up on our time. These are longish. Okay, so what else can we detail as we're going along here before we break for the next one? Okay. When you get off the plane in Bangkok, there's 2 airports there. You're going to go into Suvarnapum. I dare you to fucking say that, and I dare you to look at the word and then pronounce it because you can't. It's pronounced Suvarnapum. Kind of a B P together thing. There's a lot of sounds down there that are kind of a B and a P and whatever fucking mixed up consonants. Suvarnapum. That's the biggest international airport. There's another one up north. What the hell? Been in there a million times. Can't even think of the name of it. It's more of a local airport, a smaller airport. But Suvarnapum is the big international one. That's the one you're going to go into, regardless of where you transferred. You're going to go into Suvarnapum. It's spelled No. It's spelled Suwama Bumi or some fucking thing. I don't know how they ever came up with these spellings for the, converted from the pronunciations. But anyway, you'll almost certainly go into Suvarnapum. BP, Suvarnapum. And then, I think there's an I on the end of it in the spelling. You don't say the I, you don't say Suvarnapumi. No. Okay. Also, the Thai alphabet is 44 characters. They used to have, I think, 48 or maybe even more. Well, they still have them technically, but they've kind of cut them out because nobody ever used them. They're still technically part of the language, but they're not used. They tried to just axe them. The government tried to axe them, say, look, nobody's used this for 100 fucking years. Let's just take them off the alphabet. And the public went berserk, and they said, no, that's our language. Okay, it's not based on any kind of English letters or alphabet. Their keyboards are a fucking mess. They're just a mess. You got to shift to do half of your typing. It's just really fucked up. If you're going to buy a keyboard to take down there, a little portable one, something like that, buy one with both English and Thai because you're going to have a girlfriend, probably, almost certainly. You can only fight them off so long. And they're going to want to use it sometime to pick out a message or something like that, and they can't do it in English. They're going to have to read your Thai, read the little Thai sub-characters on your keyboard. English is not well spoken in Thailand. It's not. That's why I left Bangkok. The Thai language is difficult. Jesus Christ. It was for me. The only way you're ever going to learn it is to get, like Clinty says in that movie, get Mad Dog fucking down in the dirt. Serious. And go to school. Learn each character. Learn the sound of each character. It's painstaking. It takes time. I didn't do that. I just had people teach me, and I can, for the parts of it I can speak, I speak them well. But that's all I know. And I can barely make up a sentence, like a new sentence. If I don't know the sentence, I can make up some other ones, but I'm going to have stuff in the wrong places, They're going to say, what? You're going to go to a restaurant and you're going to order water. And the Thai word, there's 2 words for water. Depends on the part of the country you're in, depends on the little nuances and variances of the dialect in that part of the country. Okay, the real word for water is nam, N-A-M, nam. Okay, you go to a restaurant, you order, say nam, cup and cup, nam. And they should know that, right? Because when they repeat it back, they say it exactly the same way. And very often they won't know that. Part of it is because they just can't grasp your accent. Part of it is because they do, but it really pisses them off when people can speak Thai well. And they will pretend that they don't understand you just to piss you off and try to belittle you. The Thais are like that quite a bit. Be prepared for that. Now, the other thing is you can add plow, P-L-O, on the end of nam. Okay. In some places, if you only want plain water, you say nam. If you want plain water, you say nam plow. It's a B and a P again. It's not a plow. It's not a blow. It's a plow. Okay. Also, you usually don't really pronounce the L in plow, except very, very subtly, ifadol. You kind of, you skip over it mostly, but it's still kind of an afterthought. Plow. It's hard to do. In some places, if you want plain water, you say nam. In some places, if you want plain water, you say nam plow. In some places, if you say nam plow, they're going to bring you coconut water because that's what it means in that area. And it goes on and on like that pretty much endlessly. So communication is going to be really fucking difficult. That's one of the big reasons I gave it up. And it's not just words. It's their whole way of sentence structure and of putting things together. putting sentences together and of thinking, how they think. It's so alien. East is east and west is west and never the twain shall meet. And God, that's true. Okay, so you get off the plane, Bangkok. Yeah, made it through customs. Congratulations. I have been in customs in Bangkok for like 6.5 hours sometimes because they're fucking inefficient. They just can't do anything efficiently. Monkeys wearing pants. It's going to piss you off. It's going to fucking piss you off. So you made it. You got through. You got your bag. Maybe you got your check-in bag. If you're lucky, you got your check-in bag. If you took a check-in bag and it didn't make it to the airport, think about this for a minute. In the U.S., what do? You call the airline and say, here's my baggage number. Where is it? And they say, oh, sir, we'll find it and we'll bring it to your hotel or whatever. Okay, that's how it works. In Thailand, you call them up and you say, my bag didn't make it. And they're going to say, my kajai ka means I don't fucking understand you, moron Falang. I have no idea what you're talking about. And then they'll go try to find somebody who can speak a smattering of English, and they'll come on, and their accent's going to be bad, and they're not going to understand. You don't string whole sentences together. You talk like monkey language. Just the barest number of words. Like my bag gone. Like that. You make it as simple as you possibly can. And then you get a 50-50 chance of their quote-unquote English person figuring out what you want to communicate. Okay, so you get across to them that your bag is gone, it's missing. You're going to try to give them the number. Well, the numbers are all different. So you speak English numbers, they're going to misunderstand a third of them. They're going to write it down wrong, and they're going to look in the computer, and they're going to say, no have. Mimi, no have. Means your baggage doesn't exist. Means they misunderstood your number. So you're going to have to go to the fucking airport. Or you have to go to the window, and show them the paper. And then they're going to take the numbers off of that and look for your bag. Okay. And then they're going to say, if they can get it across to you, they're going to say, well, where would you like this delivered? And, if you can even understand that, you're going to have to, all you can do is show them your reservation for the hotel. And maybe they'll figure that out. Chances are they won't. Chances are they'll write it down incorrectly, and they'll take it to some other hotel. Even if they take it to your hotel, they may or may not tell you it's there. And so you got to ask every few hours, and they're not going to understand English either. And they don't know what the hell you're talking about. And, okay, so you begin to see how things can snowball like that and turn from a nasty little problem into a humongous problem that might not ever get resolved. Okay, so you get off the plane, you got your bags. Miraculously, you got your bags. You go out to the taxi stand, and they got a queue there. And you get across where you're trying to go. You show them the name of the hotel. And they call up the next cab. You get in. And he says, okay, sir, let's go. And they take off, and they go a quarter of a mile. And you know about how much the cab is going to cost. Like from Suvarnabhumi, when I went there, it was like 900 baht. So it's like $26, something like that, which was high. But this guy's going to say 3,000 baht. $100. And you're not going to understand him. He's not going to understand you. And you're going to get fucked for $100. And you're going to be pissed once you figure that out. He's not going to run the meter. He's supposed to, by law. He's supposed to run the meter, but he's not going to. He's going to say, well, it's broken, or whatever the fuck. These days, you have things like Grab and Uber. Use them. Do not get in the fucking taxi line. Call a Grab or an Uber. Wait for it to show up. Just get in it. Don't even talk to the fucking taxi guys. They'll be jabbering a mile a minute. I take you, sir, I take you. La Pai, we go. And you're going to get fucked. You're going to get fucked. In every Southeast Asian country except Singapore, you're going to get fucked if you don't know what you're doing. The only way to not get fucked is to go with a Thai girlfriend or whatever. She'll look out for you. Because they do it to the Thais also. And they don't like it. They're fucking tired of it. So, book your Uber or whatever the hell. Wait for it. They're going to tell you the color of the car. They're going to give you a license plate. They're going to show up. They're going to be pretty good. You're almost never going to have a problem with Uber. Almost never. Your Uber account from the U.S. is not going to work in Thailand or any other country. You're going to have the app from that country. But you can try. If you have to, you can sit in the airport, download it. What are you going to do for internet down there? Well, you're going to try to piggyback onto the airport's public Wi-Fi. Fuck that. Do not do it. Do not fucking do it. It's so full of scammers. Like in Russia, in Moscow, you before you land, you turn off your cell phone. You fucking turn it off and you don't turn it on again till you leave. because the instant you turn it on, it's going to be so overwhelmed with hackers and scammers. And one of them is going to find a way to get through on any public network. And that's in Southeast Asia, the hackers and the scammers aren't as smart as in Russia, but they're still going to be trying. They're going to do everything they can do to get through. Last time I came into the Philippines, I'd only been there a day, and I found out somebody had gotten through and got into my phone. They didn't get much of anything, but they got in. I don't know how. And it's just common. So anyway, you need to get yourself a Thai SIM right away. Just get one right away. The problem is that Thailand has made it difficult now for foreigners to get a SIM. It used to be you just, you walk 100 feet in the airport, you pick one up, you pop it in, it's good to go, prepaid, it's gone, everything works fine. Now the Thai government, Prayut, P-R-A-U-T-H is the most common spelling, or it can be P-R-A-Y-U-T. Sometimes there's an H, you don't say Prayuth, you say Prayut because the H is silent. God, that guy's dragged down that country. The problem is, who are you going to replace him with? There's nobody any better. So you don't wring your hands and say, oh God, I wish he could go. Well, just going to get another one, That's all there is. The whole labor pool, that's all they got to choose from. Nation of Prayut. Okay, so you may or may not, this is an important thing. We're getting over our time, I know. You may or may not have to show an ongoing flight. Even to get, with PAL coming out of the US, you will. Before you can even get on the airplane, PAL will require proof of an ongoing flight. Because if you don't have one and you get to the airport in pretty much any Southeast Asian country now, and you don't have proof of an ongoing flight, they'll deny you entry and you got to fly back up. And if that happens, the airline that brought you in is responsible for taking you out for free. And they don't want to do that. So they're going to insist on you being covered with an ongoing flight. Most people, like if they come into Bangkok, they'll get a cheaper flight to Lao, to Vientiane, something like that. It's 30, 40, 50 bucks, something like that. They get a refundable one and then they get the refund and, but that'll get them into the country. Sometimes when you go in without a returning flight, they won't even ask you. Just depends on their whim. They got a little ball bearing in the top of the circuit board in their head, in their brain, and they tip the head that way, and a little ball bearing goes over that side, and it shorts out some circuits over there for a while, and they do things a certain way, and then an hour later they tilt their head that way, and a little ball bearing rolls over that way, and it shorts out some different circuits, and they do things a different way for a while, and like that, and then maybe they got, you never know where that fucking ball bearing is going to short out. So that's what you're dealing with. But I talk about that in Southeast Asia, but that has become America now also, all Western countries. It's a brain disease. I keep saying this. It's a brain disease that has infected and is infecting all civilization around the world. So you better be prepared for it. If you aren't, you're going to implode like that fucking Titan. I mean, really, you will. I've seen it happen to people. I've seen them they can't take it anymore. And they just sort of go catatonic, and then somebody has to fly them home, and then they go in therapy for a year. I don't know. Sometimes you're going to feel like you need to do that. I mean, almost everybody who comes to Southeast Asia, at some point or another, you're going to have feelings like that. That's why this is not a goddamn destination podcast. I'm not advertising for you to come to Southeast Asia. I'm telling you what in the fuck. I hope, and I think I'm telling it more real than anybody else ever. You get the good, the bad, and the ugly, and there's plenty of ugly, and you've got to know that before you go. It's not a goddamn vacation video. Okay, having said that, it is. Well, it can be. Let's make it one for about 1 minute now. If you just want a vacation in Thailand, fly in, get your 2-month visa, get a nice hotel, hopefully a guide. Have a great fucking time for 2 months. Do not get involved in anything. You just stay in your hotels, nice hotels, pay the money, nice hotels. And you fuck around for a month or two, have a lot of fun, and you fucking leave. And you often won't have any trouble at all. I'll tell you some stuff later on about people who did just that and they still got in trouble, got arrested, got deported, whatever. But that's your best chance of not having any trouble and of having a nice time. If you're going down there to live, then it's going to be a different deal. You're going to have to get involved in shit. And when you get involved in shit, shit's going to happen. Bad shit's going to happen. So, I'm not, we're talking about going there to live, Southeast Asia, not to vacation. I don't care about vacationers. Kind of a pain in the ass. They're in the way, but don't care. I'm not here to help them. I'm here to help the poor guys who got that plastic butter knife and they've been sharpening it, wondering if it'll make it all the way through the carotid. Those are the guys that I have empathy for. I have no empathy for the fucking sex pats coming on vacation. None. All right, we're way over our time. Jesus. Okay, so the next episode we're gonna gloss over the initial steps to get there, get in the taxi, get to the hotel. We've pretty much covered that. We've covered that 85% now in this one. Then we're gonna go once you're in the hotel. What's that going to be like? What's going to happen then? How are you going to deal with that? What are your options at that point? Okay. And we're going to start talking about girls because the minute you get there, girls are going to become a really big part of your life, whether you want them to or not. I recommend do not ever under any circumstances go on any of the dating sites. I've got several websites that are anti-dating site. I've tried them all for years and years. They're fucked. They're in the old days, they possibly had some value. They don't anymore. The scammer rate is up around 97%. I've got a big website that I just finished about Tinder. We compiled somewhere around 700 or 800 photos of profiles on Tinder of the same person, the same girl. She's a crypto scammer and she's good at it. She boasted to me one day she makes $4,000 US a day, scamming you into thinking you're going to make money in crypto because she's an expert. She's a banker. She's going to help you, because she wants you to make a lot of money so you can come and see her. She can have sex with you and stuff like that. That's her spiel. So we've got, we found as many as maybe 30,000 pictures of her, all different pictures, but it's her every time. And you'll see, I'll give you the URL in one of these. I'll just post it on the screen. It's a long URL, so you're going to have to, like take a picture of it, copy it down, and you can go to that website and see what kind of Southeast Asian scammers you're going to run into. You're going to see how sophisticated they are. All the dating sites, all of them, I don't care which one, they're all like that. Some of them are blatant, obvious. You're going to get 2 or 3 lines, a couple of messages, and say, oh, scammer, scammer, scammer. Some of them are motherfucking smooth, like that one girl who invested a year in that guy to get to the U.S. and then fucked him up the ass with a hunk of razor wire, left him at the airport. That's how sophisticated some of them are. It's like us in my old federal law enforcement days. I told you, I think in the last one or whatever, we had that guy who wanted to pop this group of bank robbers, and he couldn't get into the family. As I tell you, it wasn't a true mafia family, but it was, I think they thought they were. And he couldn't get in because he was an outsider and not part of the family. He married the patriarch's sister, married her. And then he was in, and then he went with him on a bank robbery and popped them all. That's how dedicated he was. That's how dedicated these scammers are going to be to get into your motherfucking pocket. So do not, a lot of guys think, oh, before I go, I'm going to spend a month on Tinder or, Filipino Cupid or something like that. I cannot say this strongly enough. Don't fucking do it. Do not fucking do it. Do not fucking do it. Do not do it. I'll harp on this all the way through this. Do not do it. Not one time. Don't even look around. It's at best, it's going to be a complete and total waste of time. At worst, they're going to clean you out. Okay, so we're just so far over now. We got to fucking stop. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope I can still render this file. Jesus Christ. The raw version of this is probably going to be like 18, 20 fucking gigs. Got to whittle it down. Okay, thank you very much. And I don't know what the background pictures are going to be next time. Or on this one, I don't know what I'm going to put on. I'll put some crazy shit on there. All right, so this is number 5. Copyright 2023, stockphotosworldwide.com. You see these on any other server, tell us. We'll sue them. We'll give you 30%. Really. Done it before. We look forward to doing it again. Tire thieves. All right, thank you very much, and good evening, and good night.